But children's issues are not the priority of political agenda in this country. Our fundamental law is our constitution. This is the fundamental law of this country. Right now we have 21 amendments came into this law, but we have not seen any of these amendments are relevant to children. As civil society, if we can have consultations continuously with Women's Caucus and Children's Caucus, sometimes they will motivate. It's like a taboo that menstrual is not discussing openly. So at home also it is something secret. So ultimately we are discriminating our girl child. In political agenda, when those things are coming up, it became like a joke. We should be blamed as adults. Is this the country that we are living?
So Samanthie, thank you for joining us and welcome to the program.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay. So I know that as a lawyer you work with human rights issues and also on equality and gender-based scenarios. Please, I always get confused. So what's the difference between equality and equity?
Yeah. Equity, as per the Oxford Dictionary, equity is fairness and impartiality. And it's a process of ensuring rights, opportunities, treatment, like allocating resources. It's a process. But equality is all are equal. But when it comes to legal terms, we know all are not equal. Biologically also all are not equal. So there's a difference. Equity is a process. Equality is treating all equally. You should not be discriminated. It's a right.
So everyone should be equal.
Yes.
Exactly. So in that scenario where we're talking about equality, we're talking about justice, equity, hope, and that's why we appoint our public representatives in order to have those that are guaranteed within our constitution. But we know that, you know, we've been struggling now. There has been an Aragale wanting a different country, a change for the country, a better country, purely because this political system is corrupt. Do you believe, therefore, that our children will have equality and equity within the current political agenda? And if not, should we not be insisting that our children take center stage within the political arena?
Yeah, but children's issues are not the priority of political agenda in this country. Our fundamental law is our constitution. This is the fundamental law of this country. Right now we have 21 amendments came into this law, but we have not seen any of these amendments are relevant to children. So I don't think that it's not a priority for them. So you said that due to the corrupted politicians or because of the system, but it is one thing, but in their mindsets also, I don't think this is their priority. Although we as a civil society, we are struggling for that. So far, we have not seen. We should be able to see through the main fundamental law of this country. We can't see that they have given priority for children's issues.
So, you know, when we were out on the streets, we were part of wanting this change. The common theme was that we want a better country for our children. But I never heard any slogans that said we want better children unscarred or unscathed for our country. So in a way, is it not also our fault that we're not demanding that equality and equity for our children?
But from civil society side, we are demanding, but I don't know how much that our representatives are concerned about that.
They're not hearing us.
They are not hearing us. That's what I said, it's not their priority.
So do you think if we were to put children in the actually as a separate section within the constitution, as they have done in other countries, even in Bangladesh?
Yes, exactly.
Whether that is something that we can be hopeful for.
New constitution has to come. I totally agree with you. That's what I said. So far, although we have this much of amendments, we have not seen it. So we will hope so.
So instead of having this laundered constitution 21, 22 times, we need a new constitution for the new dawn of Sri Lanka. Yes?
Exactly.
Right. So, but whilst that is happening, which is a long shot, we have to work within the systems that we have. So, we know that within the parliamentary system, there is a women's caucus and a children's caucus. Do you feel that they are doing something useful? And if not, how do you propose that we can make things better?
Yeah, that of course. This is something positive thing that already we have this children caucus and women's caucus in the parliament. There's a clear objective for that. That primary objective is to have the coordination with all ministries and identify and review the laws and administrative practices, and just to advise them to how to allocate certain funds for certain things, so on. But when we go through the website of the parliament, we didn't see there's a progress in these systems. They have done something, we can't see it. But we hope that in future at least we should be able to pressure them. As civil society, if we can have consultations continuously with women's caucus and children's caucus, sometimes they will motivate because there's a pressure from the other side. Normally, most of the changes came through the international pressure and with the pressure of the civil society. So, I think that if we can have a good coordination with women's co and children's caucus in parliament, we will be able to do kind of changes.
So maybe we need to get the children at the forefront of these discussions rather than being the recipients. They obviously need to be participating in the discussions that concern them. Do you think
people's
that might be the change?
participation is very poor in Sri Lanka, in everything, very poor, but
they're very active on social media though.
The children.
No, the adults.
Adults are active, but for very important issues, national issues like environmental issues, I don't think that just some authorities are just publishing advertisement or notice in the papers just to say that we have asked concerns of the public, but they have never responded to that kind of notices. So, in that sense, I think that we are not active citizens in the country.
We are part of the problem. We are to blame ourselves.
Exactly. That's it has become our culture right now.
Yes, this is Sri Lanka.
This is Sri Lanka.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So now going back to being empowered with our children, specifically with the gender-based equality, and I have heard you in one of the programs talking about our girl children, our daughters, how they are unable to go to school during their menstrual cycle, perhaps because of poverty, because of something else, because of poor hygiene facilities or whatever. How do you propose that we as citizens, leaving aside the politicians, how can we reduce that inequality? How can we help our children to gap that inequality?
Yeah, that for this kind of things actually that provincial steps should be taken. You know, that mean that we know that for the local government there's a quota for women right now. Likewise, poverty also we can address in that way. There's a poverty line, and so we address economic inequality through Samurdhi. Likewise, we should have a system or develop a system to address this kind of things. So it's like a taboo that menstrual is not discussing openly. So at home also it is something secret. So ultimately we are discriminating our girl child. So as active citizens or the civil society organizations, we can support, we can empower them, we can openly discuss these things with the parents. But in political agenda, when those things are coming up, it became like a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It became like a joke.
Yes. When the sanitary pads was in the agenda of the presidential election itself, isn't it? Talking about it became a joke. Yes, I understand.
So we have to be shy about that. We should be blamed as adults. Is this the country that we are living in?
Yes.
When talking about a girl child not going to school because of this problem. So when I heard this kind of thing, I am talking with tears. We are talking about equality in the parliament, but still our girl child is not going. මේ ළමයට මේ අසනීපයි හින්දා ඉස්කෝලේ යවුවේ නැහැ. So why this state allocation should be given equal participation for education? We talk about that. So we have to see what is the barriers behind it. So this is one of them.
So our own myths and our own awareness needs to be heightened, and how we approach things without hiding, with more transparency and openness, are things that we can do. And in order for that, I do believe that even our boys, we need to start addressing these things with our boys more than actually the girls, because we get embarrassed more by the boys, the gender-based violence through the men, etc. Do you think that's something that we should be doing as well?
Yes, we should.
Yes. Okay, so finally, for the children who may be watching you, for our daughters, would you like to tell them how, if they were to face any issues of rights violations or protection, particularly girls, but boys as well, because violence against them, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it happens in both genders. What kind of advice or empowerment can you give to our children?
The body is yours. Always think that your body is yours. Don't be shy to speak when you don't like something adult is doing for you. Even touch, when adult is touching you, if you feel comfortable, be smart to respond that. Try to
object.
Try to object for that kind of actions from adults. Then boys and girls from your age also, you should not discriminate your sister at home. And parents also, when they are at home, don't discriminate them when they are at home. So then automatically the personalities of girl child also can be bring up like boy child.
2 pieces of chicken versus 1 piece of chicken for the boys and the girls, right? Egg for the boys and maybe not the egg for the girls. Those are simple things that we can do.
Yes.
But then in terms of the children, they need to be able to say, no, I need a fair share. No, I don't like what you're doing. And you want them to speak up so that they will be more responsive towards their rights. Yes. So with that positive note, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm very sure that we will meet again to talk more, Samanthie.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Child protection is a collective social responsibility. If you look away when a child is in need, you are a contributor to child abuse.